Hello, my name is Colton Tillett, and this is my COETAIL Final Project video. For my unit that I transformed, I chose the 4th grade unit of inquiry for energy. I teach at Qingdao Amarasia International School, which is in Qingdao, China. We are a very small international school, just a few sections per grade level, and I have 13 students in class. For our science standards, we covered energy. In 4th grade, we have a lot of energy standards to use. These are just a few of them. The bulk of the learning is done about sources of energy, non-renewable versus renewable, and then how energy is stored, transferred, and transformed. I decided to redesign this unit because my students really love this unit. It's a very science-heavy unit, and so they've always really enjoyed it. But I always felt we could do it better. I thought there was more ways to engage them with technology. We've always done a hands-on final project where they made an experiment, but it didn't involve a lot of technology out of maybe some research, but I wanted them to be more engaged in the technology use and to make it more authentic. With being a PYP IB school, we do cross-curricular learning. So we always include our English and language, English reading and writing into our units of inquiry. So we covered these reading and informational texts and writing informational texts throughout our unit as well. So it was always integration of multiple subjects. Here are our writing standards that we covered. And for this unit, I wanted to include the ISTE standards for students, Empowered Learner. I think Empowered Learner fits perfectly with an IB school because we're always striving for giving students agency and choice in their learning, letting them take the active role and drive their learning. I wanted them to find their own research, to be a knowledge constructor, to build up like a digital repertoire of information regarding energy. I also really thought that the creative communicator and the global collaborator would be a great way to integrate more technology, specifically with this unit. With creative communicator, I thought instead of having an in-person like science fair, this year we could do a digital technology-based science fair with science videos. We also collaborated with students in schools in India and Indonesia, sharing our learning with them, and they shared their learning with us. Another thing that we like with this energy unit is the use of mystery science lessons. So Mystery Science is an online platform in which students can watch videos. The narrator, Doug, shares a big question about the topic, and then he provides the lesson, followed by the students doing a hands-on experiment. And they absolutely adore it. This is one of their favorite things about this unit. In class, this is what some of our experiments looked like. So the students were very actively engaged in their learning. Here they were building a mock roller coaster to see how collisions can push the marble along the track and how far up the angle needed to be to move the marble into the cup. Here is a video of them learning about potential elastic energy.
Yeah, we must say, you're gonna touch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? What? Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just do that. So
So you might have noticed in the video, sometimes they're speaking English, that we are an English medium school, but we do like to allow for translanguaging. So when kids feel like they need to communicate in their native tongue of Chinese, especially with each other, they can. We strive to have them using English more and more, but we want them to use their whole linguistic repertoire. So there's a little mix of Chinese and a little mix of English. In this experiment, they were noticing how if you turn the rubber band, if they twist it, it stores potential energy and then release it. And they were noticing the difference between a thick rubber band and a thin one. So one of the things that we did for our global contributor was we got hooked up with two buddy classes in India and Indonesia. So other fourth grade classes, I connected with them through a PYP educators forum on Facebook. And these classrooms had just finished their energy unit. So the students had created these digital displays, presentations about their energy learning. And we did live calls with them. So their students were our teachers at the beginning. Our class was able to listen to share their learning and ask questions to further their learning. And when our videos were done, we shared our videos with them so that they could learn from us as well and give us feedback on their work. The students really, really enjoyed this aspect of learning from students in other classes in other countries. Those particular students, a lot of them were still online while we were in school at that time. And I think one of the best aspects was the students would share their screens in order to do the presentation. And my kids, they saw like that these students had the same apps as them and had the same kind of backgrounds, Spider-Man and Roadblocks, and they were like they do like the same thing we like. And I thought it was an amazing opportunity for the students to realize that kids are kids, like all around the world, and you're not that much different. And we have similarities even with people in other countries. So it was overall an amazing learning experience. Unfortunately, right in the middle of this unit, we had a COVID case spike in China, particularly in our city. We had several cases, and there was a need for us to move to online learning. Thankfully, because this was such a digitally based unit, even with the hands-on experiments with Mystery Science, we knew we could move this unit online without that much of an adjustment. Once all of our videos were made, we put them onto Flipgrid so that we could share our videos with the other fourth grade class, the rest of the students in our school, our families and friends, and of course our buddy classes in India and Indonesia. So this is just my class's platform. So you can see all their posted videos and that we had comments. So it was required that the students look at their classmates' videos and do a tag feedback comment. So tag feedback is tell something you like, ask a question, and give a suggestion. So if I'll pan down and you'll see that students in our class gave that tag feedback where they said what they liked, what they wanted to know more about, and offered a suggestion for improvement in the future. That's helping them to be more collaborative in their work and more reflective as well. Now I would like to share with you some of my students' examples, just a few snippets out of different students' videos. So in the end, we decided to go with the Mystery Science format for the videos. The students really loved those videos, and I knew it was a format that they could use to model their own videos. So in their video, they asked a question, they shared their learning about an energy concept, and then they did an experiment to represent this type of energy. So it was fully their choice. They had all the agency. They were allowed to pick any form of energy or energy concept that they had learned that they were interested to learn more about. They had opportunity to go and research on their own. And then I just guided them. We had one-to-one conferences online or in person before we went out, in which we checked in, like, what is your progress? What do you need to know? What kind of online resources can you use to gather more information? So here are some of the videos.
When you have it in here, let's do it again. When you have it in here, at this point, they will be storing potential energy, and then when you're not releasing it, it has potential energy full stored. And now when you release it, it will turn into kinetic energy and launch out like this. And it will be very far if it's more high. Get ready because now we're going to let it all pop. Not pop, but bomb. So make sure you hold this part down and you remove this one. Not this one, the one under what that was here. Okay, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's move this over. Go! It's so cool, right? Hi, I'm Austin. Can you let salt stick to a balloon without any glue or tape? Well, I can because of static electricity. So I'm going to explain to you how the boat works. When you turn the paddle, it gets potential energy.
Okay, so I was really proud of their hard work. A lot of them chose potential and kinetic energy. We did a lot of mystery science around that, and so it made the most sense to them. But they were very creative in finding their experiments and sharing those, and then you can see they did a really good job of explaining the difference between that and how it is transferred or transformed. I loved that a lot of them found ways to edit their videos in a very creative way. I'm not particularly skilled at editing videos, I'm sure you'll notice through this one. So a lot of my students figured these little tips and tricks out for getting the text on there, sound effects, and they shared with each other. And so they became the teachers of the technology as well. In the end, we had some great feedback from parents and family, other students, and our buddy classes. And I think it really made my students feel like they had an authentic audience for their work and they felt empowered and like they were the experts of that topic. To grade them for their unit, we had this single point rubric. So we were looking at time management, how they shared the lesson, the presentation, and their reflection skills. The students worked with me to create this rubric, again, providing that agency and giving them the responsibility to know what they were working toward. So all of our videos are still available on Flipgrid. There is a guest password that you can use down here, you can see. The links can be available in my blog post, or you can type that in. We do have 2 sections. In 4th grade, my class is 4C Dogwood Cottage, and we have 4M Rosewood Cottage as well. But both the classes worked through the unit really well, and despite the difficulties of having time online in the middle of the unit, I think it progressed in a very excellent fashion. I will for sure pick up the same unit next year. It made a huge difference to transfer it from just the hands-on aspect over to hands-on and digital. And I think it really empowered my students with their learning. Thank you.